We got 5:30. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. 2.1, I got the approval of the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 3.1, approval of the minutes. You got a couple of minutes attached. Any additions, corrections, or
So moved.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, moving right down the thing. Discussion, no action. Beaufort County Schools custom policy update, spring 2025. This is the first thing, and Dr. Cheeseman has this.
Yes, this is just for a first read, typically a 30-day review. We just received these, literally just received these from North Carolina School Board Association, custom policy update for spring 2025. So we will post these for your review and pass these out to our directors and district leaders to look at their sections and then bring back recommendations to you. But it's for your use to look through it, talk with your constituents, and see if there's anything that you would like to change over time. But first read.
Anybody got any questions right now? All right. 4.2, Washington Elementary School update. Mr. Brad Makepeace from WIMCO. Evening, Brad.
Good evening.
Well,
Is he related to our county?
Well, thank you for inviting me. My name is Brad Makepeace with WIMCO. We are the general contractor constructing the new Washington Elementary School. We've got a short drone video that was taken yesterday to show some of the progress. And we can hit play and I can sort of narrate that real quick. So it starts out right over existing Eastern's parking lot, and you see carpool traffic pulling in. This was yesterday afternoon. Along Pennsylvania, we've got storm pipe lined up. That's the gray concrete pipes there. That will go in the ground here in the next few weeks. We've got a retention pond that's been excavated, and those bulldozers there are working on the front parking lot for some staff and visitors, as well as the carpool loop will
That retention pond's already.
go around that parking lot. There's the maintenance facility. And then here you can see the main building 100, which is the administrative offices, the media center, art and music, as well as the gym, the cafeteria, with some multi-purpose with the stage. We've got foundation block going in. There's another shot of the front parking lot. Underground rough ends, getting ready for some slabs here soon on that building. Putting down stone base to be ready for the weather. So we have a good laydown yard. There's the administration wing. The pad behind that is a classroom wing that we're going to start foundations on in a few weeks. That's the third grade hall. There's another shot of, you can see the big space in the middle is the multi-purpose room. There's the kitchen, boiler room. The heart and soul of the building is in that corner. Some underground conduits being installed. The building in the back there is called the 300 wing. That's the EC and pre-K and a few kindergarten classrooms. Foundations are underway there. We've taken out the old playground adjacent to Eastern. We've got another building to install going towards the gym in this area here. So those foundations will start in late June. We're finishing cutting that side of the site to grade. So they're basically just removing soils there and hauling it to the other side of the site to level it out. We've got a storm retention pond in the back. That's what this disturbed area is here. That excavation has started. We've got a concrete retaining wall planning to start next week. It'll take about 4 weeks to get that in. And just today we started foundations. There's 2 more wings. There's kindergarten and first grade on this side, starting foundations there as well. So structural steel should show up in 2 weeks. So we'll start standing some columns and hanging some roof steel on the 100 building. So that's exciting. And there, that stoned area is the bus parking lot that loops around, ties into Pennsylvania up front. And then there's just the construction laydown area there. And the backside of the maintenance facility, That will be fenced off from the school. There's a good shot of the river downtown, and then back to the site. So that's the gist of what we got going on now, and things are progressing well this week with good weather, and all things are pointing forward. So we're in good shape right now.
Are you still on schedule? Everything's good?
Right now, we're tracking on schedule. We've added some crews to make up for some lost time early on the project, but everybody's bought in and excited, and materials are flowing in daily. So we'll keep this good weather and pray for no hurricanes, and we'll be in good shape.
I'll second that one. So, anybody else got any questions for Brad? Or? All right, go ahead, Ethel.
Yes, ma'am.
Brad, if I just desire to walk out there to look at that property, what's the required dress code?
So we have a few visitor hard hats and vests in our office trailer, and our superintendent, who's a Washington native, Brad Rawls, he's there every day. So you can just go to the office trailer and somebody will escort you out there and walk you around.
Okay.
I would say probably in another month or so, once we have some slabs there, it'll be a little easier to walk around.
Okay. All
So-
right. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I like this rendering. That's the proposed front.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, that rendering that Hyde Associates did is showing the new brick color and roof color and storefront color.
So that brick and that rendering.
You're not lit
is
up.
the brick we picked out?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm done saying what I was gonna say.
Yes.
But I'll repeat it. The brick in those columns is the brick that we all picked out and voted
Yes.
on.
Yes, that color over
Okay.
there. That's right.
Oh, that looks better than I thought it would. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Thank you for
Yes,
your
sir.
work.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you. 5.1. We're going to the action part of the meeting. 5.1, NC Lottery Capital Distribution Request. We have an attachment, and Amber's got this one. Go ahead.
Good evening. I'd like to bring a distribution request for the North Carolina Education Lottery Fund. The request is to replace the auditorium sound system at Northside High School with a quote of $64,366. The replacement cost will be covered with the North Carolina Lottery funds that the district received from the repair and renovations fund through North Carolina Education State Lottery.
Anybody got any questions? Or?
I don't have a question. I'm gonna get it right. I don't have a question. If anybody else doesn't, I move approval on this.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I did, let me take that back. I have a question. Is this, and it might be for Jamie, when do you hope to install this? Will it be in place by the start of school?
So if it's approved tonight, then it goes to the county commissioners for them to sign off. And then, once we do that, then we'll work on the PO, and we'll really determine on when we can get items in, but as quickly as we can.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Thanks. I know Washington High School did not have sound, what was it, last year? Outside during the sports area. Do they have sound now? They do? Okay.
It was not good at the last home football game. There was a lot of static. I don't know if that was an issue that night.
Terry may have you. He's out there right now.
No, I mean, I don't know how good it is. I can't qualify how great it is, but they do have sound. Sound is out.
It was not.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it was like the best ever, but yes, I've been out there for so many games, it's ridiculous. They've got sound, but it might not be the quality that you would expect, I guess, but,
Something at Wendy's. It would be.
Yeah.
Well, I
Goes in and out.
really feel like we should put some focus on that. because
Okay.
That is a safety issue at Washington High to not have sound.
well, they should, yeah, if they'll come put something together and bring it to us, then, yeah,
Yeah.
we can talk about it.
5.2, budget amendment, Ms. Potts.
Good
Everybody's got
evening.
a attachment.
Everybody have a copy?
Yep.
So I'm just going to recap how this works for some of our newer members. So it's divided by fund, so you'll see the heading up at the top. This is through April 30th. So we'll start with state funds. It begins on the left-hand side is your beginning budget, then what your adjustments are, and then you have your amended budget. So in state funds, we received additional allotments of $1,540,000, $381.83. Then we have in local funds, we have no additional funding that was received on that. So that's pretty much the same. On your federal allotments, we received additional allotments on that for $223,411.69. In capital, you'll see where we have allotment for the state school buses, which is additional funds, and then you'll see the $250,000, which was the property that we bought. So that is a change in your income of $692,690. In child nutrition, there's no additional funds. And then in your Fund 8, which is your local, what we call grant or local money, there is some additional funds that have come in, and that's for various different programs. And Fund 8 is where we house the things like Pamlico Pals, Horizons, things like that. And there has been additional income of $369,028.61. Okay? So this is, as I say, this is through April 30th, and we'll do another one of these for the end of June.
Anybody got any questions for Christie?
Not really.
All right.
I move approval.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right, 5.3, Character Strong, Miss Emily Bland and Miss Morris. Whoop. Looks like Miss Gibbs. Good evening, Emily. How are you? Doing good?
Thanks for having us again tonight. Character Strong team came out a few weeks ago and presented about that program. Character Strong is a program that would improve student behavior, increase safety, and support mental health of our students. And so we are here tonight to ask for your support and approval of this grant-funded program.
Anybody got any questions for him?
Well, I just wanted to ask about, with the grant, what was the length? I know we talked about it, and I know I got three, attachments. I'm trying to figure which one it's in.
Okay.
Is
So
it a
the
1 year,
length of
2
it-
year?
It's 2 years.
It's a 2 year.
And this, we have been told by the state that it could be a reoccurring grant. So
Okay.
we may be able to, if that's the case, we will be rewriting the grant.
But it's, for 2 years, it's no money out of our pocket
That's
here.
exactly right.
And then we have the option to look back over it at that point and decide whether we move forward or not
That's
with the
right.
grant. Okay,
Absolutely.
so there's nothing that we will be paying for, because I just want to make sure of that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Is this $100,000 a year?
So the grant, so the program, the 2-year program is $100,000.
For 2 years?
For 2 years, yes.
Okay, who supplies the grant?
It's through the North Carolina State. We wrote it as a team.
Stacy?
I wasn't here for your presentation, and I'm so sorry my daughter had a performance at Turnage. But I do have a few questions.
Okay.
And one of my questions is, this is basically a study where you come into the schools and you do a study with teachers and students for the next 2 years, and that's why the grant is issued. Is that correct?
No, this is a program that will be delivered to the students. You may be thinking about the next.
Okay, can you clarify, like, where I might be making that mistake?
I'm actually going to reach out to Ashley and John, who are joining us from Character Strong, and they may be able to clarify
I
that.
see.
I may be misunderstanding.
Right, thank you.
Ashley and John, did you guys hear the question? Okay.
No.
I'm so sorry. Ms. Davis?
Stacy,
Can you hear me now? Now?
you got to talk really loud in that mic.
Can you hear me now?
That seems a little better, yeah.
All right. How are you guys this evening?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. I'm wondering with the grant and with this program, what kind of studies are done, or what are you looking for as far as coming into our schools? Or am I misunderstanding what the program does? Are you keeping data on our students?
I only caught maybe every third word, but I caught the end. We are not collecting any data on your students, so that's an important one. Any current tools that we have, the school district keeps and owns that data, but we don't currently collect any data on students. If you're in any way looking at our tier 2 or tier 3 solutions, there are pieces that we'd want to make sure that the school knows, because they would use those tools for collecting information on the interventions they're doing with students. But Ashley, is tier 2 or tier 3 a part of the conversation currently?
It is.
Okay. So on a tier 2 intervention, the counselor might be utilizing what's happening with the intervention. But that is something that we could absolutely work with you to make sure what you want with that data is happening. But that would be the only one. It's information that they're putting in on the intervention that they're leading with the student.
So what is your relationship with the other medical professionals, mental health professionals that may be involved with the student? Is there an open relationship between them, so that there's not something happening in the classroom or in the school and then something else happening with the home and family?
Might be someone to repeat that question so I can hear it fully. Sorry.
My question is there a relationship, if there's a mental health professional that's involved in this student's treatment? Is there a bridge or a door that you work with that mental health professional for that child in each case?
No, we would not have a direct relationship with that mental health professional. If there is one, that would be all the school district utilizing any tools that we provide. That would be them. We don't have any direct bridge connection to any mental health professional that may be working with a student outside of our solutions.
Can I ask why not?
What was that? Why not?
Can I ask why not?
If I heard you correctly asking why not, usually we don't know unless the school district has a different piece. Like with the mental health professional, that would be something outside of our organization. If you mean a school district employee who is utilizing our tools, if they're reaching out for support on training or need guidance on, working with our customer success team to make sure they're using the tools accurately, correctly, then we would absolutely have a connection. But I just want maybe what's your definition of the mental health professional? Is it the school district employee using our solution, or an outside group that is also supporting the student who may be supported by a counselor who's using our tools, if that makes sense?
Right. I would just like to think that our teachers are able to focus more on academics than these issues. And that the mental health professionals and behavioral professionals are able to work with the student. And if there's not a relationship there, I don't see where it really benefits the student, but maybe the teacher.
I just want to make sure, I'm sorry, I want to make sure I'm fully hearing your question. If it is a school district employee, whether it be school counselor, mental health professional working for the school district, and they're utilizing our tools, and they need training and or support, we absolutely would have the ability to be connected and support them. If it's that type of scenario, it would be a yes to being able to support and answer questions for them.
Emily and Alicia and Lynn, all three are very versed in what this program does, and so they may be able to answer some more hands-on questions if you don't mind me tapping either one of them.
Didn't they pilot this in their school?
Yeah, and I think they piloted this in their schools.
Yes.
Yeah, come on.
Yes. I think there's some confusion as to what this actually is.
Yeah.
So, this program is, we do not have any counseling programs. And so Pitts Jones this year has done 57 suicide ideations, meaning that these kids are thinking it, and we had to do the process, the protocol, the paperwork. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Familiarize yourself with it. 57 as of today, 57. And up and call parents and say, I'm sorry, please go check on such and such because of this. It is a real thing. We have sent 7 kids have gone to medical attention and been sent to Bryn Mawr, Holly Hill. 7. Now, you asked about, are they gonna counsel them? No, that's a program. So I had to do one of these, like, without a counselor, and then I had to get a counselor.
Right.
I don't have a counseling background.
Right.
I just want common sense. I don't know if I did it right. I felt like I did okay, but I mean, you know, I did the best I could.
Right.
Common sense and what I knew about life. But our kids have huge mental health issues. I just don't think you guys you don't have boots on the ground, so you don't understand, really think you do, but you really don't understand what these kids are doing. It's not like when I grew up. You know, if I got in trouble, I got home, I got spanked. That was the norm. That's not the norm. These kids are couch surfing, they're coming to school, like, it's a big deal.
Okay,
So
good
this
job, Doc.
program is a program that gives you, like, you're going, like, these counselors, they're coming in, they're counseling and what they've been told, but they don't have, like, research-based stuff to use. So you're hoping you're saying the right things. Now, our counselors, do they talk to the mental health professionals that are with these kids?
Right.
Yeah. But this is another aha moment. The kids that we've done suicide ideations for and sent away, they don't have mental health providers. We are starting that relationship. So this is a program. These folks are giving us tools that we know are research-based, so we're doing the right thing to get that relationship started.
Okay.
All right, Don.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes better
And then I'll tell you
sense.
one more little thing. When we talk about diversity, it is a thing
Yes.
with this, because Hispanic parents, this is something that is frowned upon. So, our receptionist, Ms. Anaya, who we can't live without, by the way, went to her church, and she did, Mr. Wright, I think you go to her church, she did a program on this, so parents would be more open to when we call, because they brush it off. This isn't a brush off thing, and I know we had a suicide this year.
Yeah, I know.
And I never want to experience that again.
That's why I'm red flagging.
Ever. And, you know, that's why we had the say something tip on our Google form, because that one could have been prevented if they had done something.
Ms. Davis, I do want to clarify though, this is not a program where these individuals are coming into our school. It's a program just like a reading program or a math program. It's digital, it's online, so that we piloted this since March 1st.
Okay.
And really, at the elementary level, I mean, our teachers are digging into it. Our lead teacher, Ms. Norris, is here tonight, so she can speak on the application in the classroom as well. But it's a program that we purchased, and the teachers are able to pull up a
Access
video on, and it's good character. It's the same
Yeah.
character skills that you guys are recognizing each month on honesty, kindness, respect, you know, things like that. And each month it features a different character trait to teach those skills, because, you know, all kids aren't learning those.
Right.
And you
They're
have
not.
to teach math, you have to teach reading, and you have to teach behaviors.
And it is a little different than this.
No one is gonna come into the school and provide these resources.
Right.
It's just for the teachers. I can also say, because there are a lot of programs
Thank you for that
coming
information.
out with social studies and science right now, this is a low burden on our teachers, but it is high impact.
Okay.
The teachers that have been using it, there is nothing that they have to prepare. It is all right there, and if we're focusing on kindness for the week, there's activities that they can do with things right there in their classroom. They don't have to go out and purchase anything, they don't have to make anything, it's right there. So our teachers have fallen in love with it, and we haven't seen any red flags on our classroom.
And this is the piece we're missing. If we're looking at that multi-tiered approach
Yes.
of instruction, this is the piece we're missing. We
We're just
have,
saying multi-tier, just in general,
we're missing this piece.
Right.
But,
Period.
you know,
We're missing it.
we've got, you know, we can refer to, community, you know, outside, mental health providers. We can do that. It's very
But that is.
few.
I would like to know
Very
that if that
long, but it's-
exists, you are doing that.
We
We are.
absolutely,
We are, and I-
absolutely we're doing that.
Right.
Ms. Davis, I will tell you that we have reached out because, you know, we do family wellness. And when I met Jacqueline is when Dr. Bell started family wellness. And I think we were the first, I don't know whose year that was there when it started, but.
was 10 years- it was 10
We
years
use them
ago.
all the time. And he is so stretched thin. We really need to look at getting more services that are able to come into school. I used to see my Dowdy all the time.
Donald, do you have a
Yeah,
question?
my question is, you've said that might be a reoccurring grant situation, and this gentleman here said that there's no data involved. I've hardly ever seen a grant, there was not some
We will
record
collect
keeping or data
We will
that.
collect data, but they don't.
Oh,
As a district, we will collect data. Our school-based teams, district teams, we are constantly collecting data and problem solving and trying to decide, okay, what do we need to bring in? How do we support our students better? And that's exactly what
Whenever we
we're
have situations like this, everybody's aware of it.
So what is some of the data that you'll be collecting again?
That's gonna be based on what the state asked, but I'm
Right.
sure it's gonna be discipline, attendance,
Academic.
maybe
Want to know how
engagement.
many suicide ideations we have?
Absolutely, they're gonna want to know that, yeah.
And that's happened at the elementary level too. We've had several suicide ideations,
Yes.
and one has been a high threat that has been.
We already have things in
Terry-
place that's collecting.
Terry's
it.
got a
Well,
question.
no,
It's
just,
not like we have-
just,
I'm sorry,
We have things
Terry-
in place
Terry's
that's
okay. Let him finish.
collecting it. We have things in place that gets that data for
Yeah.
us, so we'll have that in place.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, yes, we have a protocol we follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If a kid says, we have a protocol.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm just interested in the data that you're collecting from the students.
Terry?
no, I was just going to say, doesn't this also support our policies against bullying in schools?
Absolutely.
Right, which is something that everybody complains that we have in our schools. So, hey, how can this be but so bad?
They're just good lessons that you think you're saying the right thing, but they're not saying the right thing. I'm going on my experiences and what I know. When you're trying to work with children on things like that, those are my experiences. It's not research-based experiences.
So
Hold on,
based
hold on.
on, based on.
Gary's got one first. He was next. Sorry.
Yes.
Gary.
I know you're describing it as a low burden type of program. This is for K through 8, is that correct?
We would use it differently than the lower grades.
Is there required teacher training or anything with regard to this?
Well, that's why we did the pilot, because I do a mid-year check with my staff, like a pulse check. And one of the things was, I wish we could use programs before we get them. And so this was something I knew we were interested in, so that's why we got the pilot, and they've used it, I mean, and
The grant-
feedback was, it was like.
I know you're talking about things like patience, kindness, humility, respect, selflessness, forgiveness,
Character traits.
commitment,
Yes.
honesty. You know, when you talk about low burden, I'm interested in if this is actually potentially taking teacher time, if it's training or monitoring or recording or anything. Is this taking away teacher time away from actual instruction?
Not for us.
No, not for us either.
We're doing, my counselors need this. I need this for when I have to work with children. I need to make sure I'm saying the right things.
Our teachers are using it like in their morning meetings, so it's like a 2 or 3 minute little video and a little blurb that they can watch. And then throughout the day, if they've been doing 90 minutes of reading, they need a little brain break. There's a little activity that they can do, but it is very easy. It's user friendly. Our teachers have not had any training, and they're all able to maneuver through the program and have fun. One of our teachers is here that has been digging into it.
I would say for us, for our teachers using it, we would incorporate it into electives. Probably not our instruction.
And there are different models that can be implemented.
I know that there are other programs, not this one, but other programs that we've been involved in grants we've been involved with that seem to be quite intrusive into the day of the teachers, the staff, the record keeping and such as that. So you're telling me that it doesn't have that kind of
I need to be able
impact.
to know that when a kid comes in and I need to tell them something, I'm doing the right
Here we
thing.
go. We got one of the boots on the ground right here.
This is one of our EC teachers. Yes. EC teachers at SNCC and IEPs and paperwork all the time, so you can speak on the paper.
And we have a lot of students that do have high SEL needs, and this program is straight up in your toolbox. You can pull it out anytime you want, and when we have a kid in the moment, it's the best time to teach them. And so when you have a tool like this, then you're able to pull it out whenever, and it's specific to their needs. And it's a 5-minute lesson like this. Whenever you need that extra 5 minutes in the moment, and teachers, like Ms. Whittington said, they're able to use that in their morning meeting, like 5 minutes tops, and it's right there for them.
Shirley?
I don't have a question, I have a statement. I know all of you, and I know that you are very high on the totem pole of people that do a lot of research, and this is not a rush decision. You've piloted it at 2 schools with very energetic, thought-provoking principals. So I want to thank you for that. I know Tremaine Young may or may not be here, but I know also that Ms. Bland and Ms. Gibbs and Tremaine Young, people on our staff are spread so thin, running from school to school, because we don't have enough mental health professionals. And what's the old saying, the cow's in the ditch, you got to get it out. When a student is struggling, you got to find an answer and a professional way to handle it that not only protects you because you've done it the right way, but most importantly, you can actually help that student. And so I want to thank you for the time, because I know there was a lot of thought put into it. I know you looked at other programs. So and I enjoyed the presentation that we got last month. So I want to thank you for this, and I certainly support it.
Yeah.
And if anyone has any questions about Character Strong, again, I'm Abby Norris. I'm happy to answer those for any of you.
So this is all materials and no human interaction?
Well, human with the personality of
Delivery,
school.
yeah, delivering.
Yeah, but nobody's coming in to the school.
You good? Okay, you go ahead.
I want to make a motion to approve.
I second that, Mr. Shreve.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going on down to 5.4, the same ones on deck. So you can see resilience and learning. Did I
Okay,
say that right?
thank you. Ashley and John, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So again, on the same night, a few weeks ago, the North Carolina Resilience and Learning project, they came and presented as well. This program, this is a little bit different because it is coming in to train the staff on how to respond to students. We've had lots of different kinds of trauma-informed type training for our staff. This would be, kind of over at least a year and a half to support our staff in responding to our students who have experienced lots of trauma. I know these ladies were very emphatic about that, but it's hard for us to sit here and explain it to you. It's in our face every day.
I've looked it over.
And so we are here to ask for your support and approval of this program. This would be for our high schools, so they would be coming in to support, train and coach the staff on how to respond to our students in trauma.
Anybody go ahead.
I just want to make a comment. I reached out to some high school teachers that I know in Pitt County, and their only complaint was why it took them so long to put this in their school. And that they have seen a huge difference. I mean, it has decreased their write-ups. This one teacher said, now that we are working with our teachers on how you're going to handle that, we have more students staying in class to learn versus sitting outside the principal's office waiting to get written up. Miss Sarah's seen a lot of that, haven't you, Miss Sarah? But I mean, I talked to 8 current high school teachers in Pitt County. All of them love this program, and so there was a lot to learn about it, and I was doing some diving in it, but I'm not a mental health professional, never claimed to be, but they spoke very highly of it, and all 8 of them, and they were at some different high schools, said they had seen their discipline referrals plummet with this program because we're providing tools for these teachers to how to kind of disarm a tense situation. And usually a tense situation often comes from something going on that has nothing to do with school.
Always outside.
But I thank you, because again, I know this wasn't a rush to judgment, and you all did your due diligence on bringing it to us.
All right, Terry?
TW?
Hold it, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to know, is this covered by grant funding?
Yes, it is.
Okay, just want to make sure, because
Grant funded
I
as
do see a
well.
price tag of $62,000 on it.
Grant funded.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you already know where my questions are coming from. It appears with the staff training time, the resilient team meetings, monthly meetings, school visits, things like this, I don't know that I would call this low burden.
So the training for this, and I'm sorry, Ms. DeConte was not able to rejoin us tonight, so, but the training for this is, I'll say minimal, because I believe it is a one, and you'll have to forgive me, Ms. Morris was the point person on this one, and I was the point person on Character Strong, but it's a 1 to 2 day training, I believe. So you do have a school team, a response team. That team is generally your administrators, your counselors, not your classroom teachers. So these are the individuals that would be responding to crisis type situations or just a general, day-to-day interaction with students that might need some support. So it's not as intrusive as you are thinking it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, again, my concern is that any time away from instructional work that's a big decision. And with training and monitoring and visits and meetings and all that, I have to be concerned that we're committing ourselves, to something that's taking away from instructional time.
And I could say we talked about like the training, and a lot of times that training could be at a staff meeting. So it's not even instructional time.
Yes.
I know Dr. Young meets with school counselors. So even during that time, that could be a time where they're already away from the school that they can do the training. So we talked about how we can incorporate that when it's not taken away from instructional time. And so that is something that we have looked at.
Okay, so your administrators in the school, they're responsible for recording and monitoring the program. Who is actually the monitor, the centralized monitoring
So
piece for this?
They actually do send in coaches to coach the adults in it's how to respond. It's not, there's no real recording, there's nothing being really delivered as in like lessons. This is a better understanding of how to respond to students with trauma.
And as for who's in charge, the administrator could delegate someone, I guess, as in charge, but it's that type where, they would. But again, it's the training that we're looking at to prepare the staff to deal with these situations.
And Mr. Carlton, loss of instruction is a valid concern, absolutely. This would not take away from the group's instruction. This is not something that they would be teaching to the group. Again, it's a better understanding of how to respond to our students and how to better interact. And I really want to throw this into, I think we have to take that time, 5 minutes, whatever it is. We have to take that time because we have to make sure that these students' basic needs are covered before we can expect them to learn, even at the high school level. We have to make sure those basic needs are covered, and this is one of those needs.
Well, like I say, my concern is just taking their eye off the ball as far as building results with the students and things like that. It just has to be seriously considered, so. I realize it's coming in through a grant. I realize there's probably qualified teams that are helping to implement it. But, I want to make sure that it's low burden on the teachers and the administrators because they can't afford to have their eyes taken away from what needs to be done on instructional matters.
And I'm going to kind of reiterate what Ms. Bland said. I've been a classroom teacher, assistant principal. And if we don't meet these needs, I've been there, we can't teach the children. I've been in that classroom. I know how it is. And so we have to meet these trauma needs in order to teach our students. I know, and we don't want to take on instructional time, but we have to address those needs.
And if there is a burden on our staff right now, it is a burden of not knowing how to respond, not knowing how to react.
Well, you know, I've
That's
talked
where the
to, you know, teachers that, you know, they talk about their, the instructional time, the mentoring time, the, you know, after-hours requirements of dealing with the students, just a whole series of things that they're already asked to do. And, you know, I understand that this is maybe giving them something else for their toolbox, but, you know, it's adding to the burden on the teacher, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And with that, I feel like obviously instructional time is important, but and I'll just ask you guys, I feel like any tool we can put in your toolbox to help you be better prepared for these situations in the long run will potentially decrease your loss of instructional time. Yeah. I'd like to move to approve.
Take time, make.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're on 5.5, SW Snowden closure, and we have the attachment of the closure study and Dr. Cheeseman.
Good evening, Board. As you know, I have provided information to you, specifically provided a study looking at the fiscal implications. Also, you understand that last night your county commissioners voted on a $16.139 million budget for next year, which doesn't include capital. With capital, it was over $18 million, which is flat funding from the previous year. So in terms of waiting to see the outcome of that, there's no additional funds coming to your budget other than what was already projected. Based on all information I've already provided to you, all fiscal information, also looking at full-time teacher employment losses of 54 over 6 years, a $6.5 million shortfall in local funding over 6 years. For the information I've provided to you, I'm asking you to approve my recommendation to close Snowden Elementary School.
Anybody? Go ahead, Stacy.
Has the Leandro case been taken into consideration?
So the Leandro case, as the chair of the Lowell Schools Consortium for the State of North Carolina Superintendent Association, I work closely with Jerry Hancock, the attorney who oversees the Leandro case. And in fact, that award actually came out and then was suspended by the State of North Carolina's General Assembly. So yes, it has been taken into consideration because the 5 who originally filed that lawsuit, other districts then jumped in on that as well. But your General Assembly has not released those funds to any type of school district and doesn't look like they will be doing so in the short term as well.
Go ahead, Stacy.
And we have not reached out for any grants to work with Snowden and try to get more operational expenses paid.
That would be an incorrect statement.
Okay. Okay, how?
Because we have had grants, such as RLIS, as I explained the other time, but you dismissed that one.
And what have we done since? Because I know I found at least 9 federal.
And the federal grants that you did supply and links to are not sustainable grants for employees in terms of long-term commitment. They would be temporary, in no such way do they actually accumulate to $1.7 million.
Okay, but would we be able to reallocate the budget?
No.
In no way.
No. Not unless you showed me otherwise.
Has the board taken the chance to work together and see if we can?
I think the board ultimately has tried to work together the last 5 years, looking at your local budgets, of which you've been flat funded 4 out of 6 years.
Well,
Actually, excuse me, 3 out of 5. Pardon.
well, for those years, I think that's going on a study from 2019
No.
from State University.
No, your ORED was actually 2018, which was sponsored by the county commissioners at a cost of $10,000 to $20,000, of which they paid for. When I became your superintendent in January 2019, the meeting on May 9th, held over in the old boardroom, was a decision of it was a proposal by Matthew Palmer from the ORED study of North Carolina State University, and specifically, they asked to consider potential closures across the district.
Right.
Which first included Snowden, second and third, Southside High School and Northside. At the time, the board decided not to do such thing, but that did not change the fact that your ADM in the district dropped 2,000 students in 25 years. Your teacher allotment from the state of North Carolina has dropped 54 over 6 years, and your funding has been short of $6.5 million over the last 5 to 6 years by your local county commissioners, including another 5 that was short from your request this year. So in actuality, it's 11 million over 6 years of what you looked for. So in short, I'm saying no.
But we had a needs-based grant that was given to us, and we decided to build a mega school.
No, it's not a mega school.
Okay.
And it was not given to us. We applied.
Right.
After feasibility studies were included.
Just the feasibility studies of the board, though.
And how would that apply to Snowden Elementary School in this circumstance? Because that money is not used for personnel. It's meant
This is
specifically
only capital
on
money,
capital.
that's not personnel. It's
The
capital.
lottery
Can't use it for
grant-
any other reason.
So you're saying that the needs-based study could not be, could not cover any teacher salaries?
Correct.
No.
I am saying that because that's lawfully true.
The lottery grant that we received to build the new school
I just
was for
have
building
questions.
new,
Yeah,
it
that's
was for building new schools.
And just like the lottery funds, we just approved to pay for the sound system.
Yeah, can't
It's
use them on
all
people.
lottery funds have got to be used for things,
Right,
not people.
okay.
It's capital. Good, and you had something?
Dr. Cheeseman?
Yes, sir.
Your professional opinion, as well as our attorney, Mr. Rousen, have we followed all general statutes and required procedures to close the school?
Yes, and I've been advised by the board's attorney throughout the process.
Could I ask you one more question?
Yes, sir.
Per our board attorney, do I violate any ethics being involved in this matter?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Make sure that makes the news.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to move to approve.
Could I make
Of
one more
SW
statement?
Snowden. I'd like to move to approve the closing of SW Snowden.
I'll second.
I would like to make a statement.
Go ahead.
Here's what I,
Hang on, Donald. Donald, you're first.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this is one of the most difficult decisions that I have ever made in my life. I spent the day with Charles on Friday at Snowden. We've considered a lot of information regarding this issue. We have enrollment issues, system-wide. We have a shortfall in our budget. I called the chairman of the county commissioners. I asked him to call me. He called me yesterday, and I pleaded for some extra funding to help us keep Snowden open. He said he didn't fund schools. He funded the board. I asked him, would he consider an additional amount for the fact that we have a shortfall in our budget. And he just repeated that he didn't fund schools. And last night, the Beaufort County Board of Commissioners flat funded us again this year. And I personally don't have any answers on what to do other than to close Snowden. Like I said, it's a most difficult decision I've ever made. I don't know any other options.
Charles, were you next? You were next.
well, I oppose closing Snowden, and I'll give you my reasons why. All boards have three basic duties: hire and direct the CEO, oversee the finances, and ensure laws are followed. In March, the board was presented with 4 very distasteful plans of action from the staff. 2 of them eliminated SW Snowden School. Upper staff and much of this board has gravitated toward Plan 4, which is one of the most distasteful plans in my opinion. I believe that course of action is not in the best interest of Beaufort County and certainly not in the best interest of Richland Township. I will consider any plan the superintendent presents, but I will not consider any plan that includes closing Snowden or any other Beaufort County school. In 1999, this school system set out on a course that merged our Southside high schools and established a feeder elementary school arrangement directed to that new high school. I am not aware of any official long-term or short-term plan to change that system. We do hear rumors and ideas expressed from individuals about other ideas. If local government wants to change course from the plan we are on, we need to do it officially with a new plan. We need to be honest with ourselves and with the public about this change of course. If we close Snowden, we have changed course. Eliminating the feeder school from the east, Snowden, will create a need for a more centralized elementary school to serve the south side of the river more effectively. So the two Chocowinity schools are likely to be next or pretty close to next. This course will be a de facto plan for consolidation without ever making the plan official. If this progression is started on the south side, it will soon be coming to the north side of the river too. We've heard hints of this already. If we are to depart from previous plans and embark on new plans, we need to officially make those plans and not be guided into those actions that will piecemeal create a plan where no official plan has been made. We are at a time where we should stop, assess where we are, and plan accordingly. I urge this board to do that. We need to do that before we start closing schools. Further, this is a time when several entities are committing to investing in Aurora. For example, here's a few. Goodwill Industries of Eastern North Carolina is investing over $1.5 million in Aurora. NC State University is proposing a partnership to work directly with Snowden to enhance teacher development and improve classroom instruction. Young Scientist Academy is offering a summer STEM training program for teachers, including education credits and a whole lot more. We already have a good core of educators at Snowden, and Building 1 is the newest elementary building on the south side. This school is a crucial community center for students, families, future investment, and the economic life of Aurora. At a time when others are choosing to invest in Aurora, it would be a shame for Beaufort County Schools to leave. There is a lot at stake here. Again, we need to stop, assess where we are, and plan accordingly with a well-thought-out, board-centered official plan. Let's not close Snowden School.
I just got a couple of brief statements. I don't have notes. I might ramble because I don't really know where to start. I've been on the board 14 years, and I've never faced anything like this in my 14 years, I can tell you that. And I've read so many things that have been said, so many things about this board and board members. Don't read into what I'm saying now as what you think I might do, because you really don't know yet. But if anybody wants to point finger, and it's already been mentioned here, but I want to say it one more time. I'm looking at the actual numbers, so these aren't things just pulled out of the air. These are real figures. What Dr. Cheeseman said a minute ago, $11 million difference between what we've asked for and what we've received in funding. We have unfunded mandates that come to this board every year since I've been on it. And every year that we receive flat funding puts us that further in the hole, because we're not a taxable board. We work off of what we're given by state, federal, and local funds. Yes. If we don't receive it, we don't have it. So we then have to look, well, where we're going to cut and who we're going to cut. And basically, I say who we're going to cut because most of our budget is in personnel. That's just the way it is. So when you look over, I'm looking from 21 through last night when the commissioners approved the budget. When you look at this, and we've asked for a total all through there, and we're shorted over 10, I put 10 to $11 million. That's why we're in the position we're in tonight. So if anybody wants to write anything about a board or anything, maybe you need to rethink which board you're talking about, because it's not this one. It's not this board.
I'm gonna,
I'll let you talk when I
I'm
get
gonna
through.
say, are you done?
No, I'm not
Okay, keep
done.
going.
So, having said all that, that's why we're in this shape right here. This board has not caused all the problems. Are we perfect? In no way. But I live on the south side of the river. I've talked to a lot of people on the south side of the river. I've met them at restaurants. I've met them on the street, ball fields, you name it. I've even had discussions in the last 3 or 4 days in Jamesville. I didn't even know people in Martin County was paying attention to this. And they walk up to me there. I got 2 people in Walmart last week stopped me. A lady stopped me in the parking lot of Tractor Supply. I have talked to a lot of people, and I'm convinced that I know you have to do what you have to do, but I will not support closing S.W. Snowden.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Not anymore.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
The motion was in favor of closing S.W. Snowden. Yep,
You have a motion and second?
yep, motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
All right. Roll call. All in favor, say aye. Raise your right hand. All opposed, raise your right hand. All right, Terry. You put us in
Oh,
closed
is it
session.
time to go to closed session? I move that we go into closed session for General Statute 143-318-11A to prevent disclosure of confidential personnel files under General Statute 115C-321.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right.